The town of Plymouth along the Roanoke River has played a notable role in North Carolina's maritime and Civil War history. Today, we're taking a look around to learn more about its past, as well as what's in store for its exciting present and future.
The French came here for furs. The English came here largely for naval stores, which is our longleaf pine trees for ship's mast and spars, turpentine and tar. Once settlement began, then you're talking about sawmills. There were sawmills all up and down the river here, and fisheries, and that was very important too. Agricultural goods that were grown up the Roanoke River on farms were brought to Plymouth, where they were loaded on ships, and ships traveled to the West Indies and to Europe and all up and down the American coast.
The town's maritime history is showcased in the Roanoke River Maritime Museum, which includes a replica of the Roanoke River Lighthouse that once sat 6 miles downstream where the Roanoke opens into the Albemarle Sound. The downside of Plymouth's location is that, in turn, it became a strategic piece in the Civil War.
The rivers were the roads, and part of the Union strategy was to cut the Army of Northern Virginia, General Lee's Army of Northern Virginia, their supply line.
One of the most notorious was the commando mission by Union Navy officer William B. Cushing that successfully sank the Confederate ironclad ram, the CSS Albemarle. A smaller scale replica of the CSS Albemarle now sits on the Roanoke River behind the Port of Plymouth Museum. Only 11 historic buildings from before the war remain standing in Plymouth, many of which tell fascinating stories about the town's history. Plymouth is home to 6 stops along the North Carolina Civil War Trail, one of them being the Osborne House behind me, known as the Sniper's Nest. A Confederate sniper sat in that window and fought to the death against Union soldiers during a Civil War raid. Today, if you get a close look, you can even still see bullet holes in the side of the building. Most recently, Plymouth was recognized by the National Park Service as a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Well, there's so much history, and it's continuing to be uncovered. And that's the purpose, of our museums, is to educate the public about this fascinating history that's right here at our fingertips.
Today, Plymouth's location is still one of the town's biggest advantages.
The way I look at Plymouth is that it is the ecotourism hub of the wheel. Besides all the things that you can do in Plymouth, this is base camp. And from here, you can take a day trip to Sylvan Heights Bird Park in Scotland Neck, or you can go paddling up in Merchant's Mill Pond after you paddle here, or you can go to the Alligator National Wildlife Refuge, or the Pungo Wildlife Refuge, or the Mattamuskeet Wildlife Refuge, or Pettigrew State Park, or Goose Creek State Park. But in the center of it all is Plymouth. We've got a developer from Winston-Salem that has bought a lot of buildings that he's fixing up, and we're building a boardwalk along our half mile of riverfront. We're excited about the future and the opportunities that this presents with the river right here.
Water activities like boating and paddling are a beloved pastime in the area. And Plymouth is part of the region affectionately known as Bearolina, as it boasts the highest black bear population densities on the planet and some of the largest black bears in the world. Which is why Plymouth is home to the annual Black Bear Festival, which has won Best Festival awards in both the state and southeast region of the country in its 10-year run.
We've seen it grown from about 7,000 people to about 30,000 people.
If you can't make it to the Black Bear Festival, you can appreciate the beautiful creatures year-round here in Plymouth at the Bearology Museum. For more information about visiting Plymouth, you can check them out online at bearolina.com or in person at the Bearolina Welcome Center in Plymouth.